The most underrated isekai manga you need to see. Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 most underrated isekai manga you need to see. Now, we all know that the isekai genre can be a bit oversaturated these days, with tons of stories about ordinary people getting transported to fantasy worlds. But trust me, there are some real hidden gems out there that don't always get the love they deserve. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover some truly unique and interesting isekai manga that are sure to leave you wanting for more. So now, let's dive in. Starting off with our number 10, Reborn as a Space Mercenary. Now, if you are getting a little tired of the same old fantasy settings and cookie-cutter protagonist, hold on to your seats. This one's gonna take isekai to a whole new frontier, the final frontier to be exact. Imagine waking up one day and finding yourself on a decked-out spaceship, ready to explore a fantastical universe straight out of your wildest dreams. That's the reality our protagonist, Sato Takahiro, finds himself in. This guy used to be your average office drone, but now he's living the life of a space-faring mercenary, complete with a crew full of, shall we say, interesting companions. Now, the story might not be the most complex or well-defined just yet, but trust me, the sheer uniqueness of the settings more than makes up for it. We are talking spaceships, crystal life forms, and a whole lot of, well, let's just say intercourse is far from rare in this one. If you're looking for an isekai that really thinks outside the box, that breaks free from the same old fantasy tropes, then Reborn as a Space Mercenary is an absolutely must-read. Number 9. I got caught up in a hero summons, but the other world was at peace. Now, you think when you get summoned to another world, it's gonna be all monsters to slay, demons to vanquish, and heroing to be done, right? Well, not for our protagonist Kaito. See, he got isekai, alright? But the world he ended up in is already at peace. Talk about a curveball. Instead of battling for his life, Kaito finds himself living the high life, enjoying breakfast with the locals, earning magic from a spunky demon girl, and even attending the occasional barbecue. It's like a fantasy world vacation, but with all the pesky saving world nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong, this manga isn't exactly a thrill a minute. The pacing is pretty slow and the story doesn't exactly have a ton of high stakes, but if you are in the mood for a nice chill isekai experience with a healthy dose of harem hijinks, I got caught up in a hero summons might just hit the spot. Number 8. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Now this one's got a pretty unique twist. Our protagonist, Asagaki Togo, is a former Power Ranger who finds himself reborn in a whole new world after suffering a crushing defeat in his final battle against the ultimate evil organization. But instead of hanging up his spandex for good, Togo embraces his new role as an adventurer and transforms into Kizuna Red to continue his pursuit of justice. The story is pretty straightforward. There is a bunch of nobles in this kingdom who have got their hands on these devil seeds that give him all kinds of twisted powers. And it's up to our hero Togo to defeat these seed-wielding baddies and stop the Demon King from making a grand comeback. Now, the main character might be a little too much of a goody two-shoes for some readers, and this manga does lean pretty hard into the power of friendship trope. But if you are a Power Ranger fanatic, or you just love a good old-fashioned hero's journey, the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer is definitely worth a read. Number 7. Dungeon Seeker. Our protagonist, Junpei Takeda, along with a delinquent and his childhood friend, gets summoned to another world by some so-called god. But here is where the things take a dark twist. Instead of being held as heroes, these poor saps get tossed straight into a monstrous labyrinth with zero chance of survival. But fear not, our boy Junpei isn't about to go down without a fight. Nope. He's got a few tricks up his sleeves and he's ready to not only survive this dungeon from hell, but also take some sweet revenge on the jerks who betrayed him. Now, I've gotta warn you, this manga doesn't pull any punches when it comes to the dark fantasy vibes. Junpei is no OP power fantasy protagonist. He's cunning, badass, and living on the edge. And the story was shaping up to be an absolute masterpiece. But even with those setbacks, Dungeon Seeker is still a must-read for any isekai fans who's craving something little more gritty and intense. Number 6. The Death Mage. See, our protagonist Hiroto Amamiya and his entire class gets wiped out in a tragedy, but then some god shows up and decides to give them all a second chance by reincarnating them in a brand new world. Sounds like a sweet deal, right? Well, not for Hiroto. Somehow, the god manages to mess things up and Hiroto ends up getting sent into this new life without any special skills or abilities. But don't worry, our boy Hiroto isn't about to let that stop him. Nope, he's packing a secret weapon, the power of Death Magic. Now I know what you are thinking, Death Magic? Isn't that a bit of dark for an isekai? Well, yeah, but that's kind of the whole appeal here. Unlike those typical power fantasy MCs who just want to build a harem, Hiroto is all about building his own faction and taking out the competition. And let me tell you, the guy doesn't hold back when it comes to the whole death thing. So, if you're tired of the same old isekai tropes and you're craving something a little more unique and intense, do yourself a favor and check out the Death Mage. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. As you can see, there are some truly fascinating stories out there that don't always get the spotlight they deserve. But that's why we are here to shine a light on the hidden gems and share our passion for these awesome isekai adventures. So, if you're hungry for something a little different in the isekai genre, be sure to check out these titles we have covered today. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for the top 10 countdowns of the best and the most underrated manga and anime out there. Stay curious, my friends. Peace out.